Every spring, anglers make the same mistakes when bass start spawning, and it costs them big fish. In this video, I'm breaking down 15 bass spawn fishing mistakes that are quietly ruining your catch rate, and more importantly, how to avoid them so you can catch more fish this spring. Let's start with one of the biggest misunderstandings about spawning bass. Fishing for a feeding bite. One of the biggest misconceptions about spawning bass is assuming they're feeding normally. During the spawn, bass are focused on reproducing, not eating. Their behavior is all about protecting the nest, their eggs, and their young. So, instead of hoping a bass gets hungry and eats your bait, the real goal is to annoy it enough to attack. That's why one of the most effective tactics is dropping your bait directly into the nest and working it there until the bass finally reacts. Not understanding male versus female bass behavior. Another mistake is not realizing which fish you're actually targeting. When you see a bass on a bed, it's usually the male, especially if it's just one fish. Male bass build the nest and guard it for 1 to 2 weeks. The female usually slides in, lays eggs over a few hours or a day, and then leaves. That's why anglers often catch the same smaller fish repeatedly on beds. You'll commonly catch females staging nearby versus catching them while they're actually on the bed. Assuming all bass spawn at once. A lot of anglers think the spawn happens all at once, but it actually happens in waves over several weeks. Even during peak spawn, fish in the same lake might be in 3 different stages at the same time. Pre-spawn, spawning, and post-spawn all at once. Smart anglers take advantage of this. Don't just fish the beds. All the bass are concentrated around the bedding area, so you may pick up some pre-spawn or post-spawn fish by working these high concentrated spots. In a recent session, I was seeing bass on beds like crazy, but by casting in the general area, I nearly doubled my catch for the day, and even had this bass almost scare me out of my kayak.
Oh! Oh!
Now, once you actually find a spawning area, the next mistakes are all about how anglers approach the fish. Spooking the fish. Even though bass want to protect their nest, their safety still comes first. If they feel threatened, they will abandon the bed temporarily. And while a fish is spooked, your chances of catching it drop to 0. To avoid this, move slowly, avoid casting shadows over the bed, and keep some distance from the fish. A stealthy approach makes a huge difference. Casting directly onto the bed. A lot of anglers fire a cast straight into the nest, and sometimes that works, but more often it just startles the fish and sends it running. A better approach is to cast past the bed, then slowly drag your bait onto it. That lets the bait enter naturally without alarming the bass. Quick side note, one of the biggest challenges in bass fishing is simply knowing which lure to tie on in different conditions. That's exactly why I made my Bass Bait Selector cheat sheet. It's a simple guide that shows the best baits based on depth, water clarity, structure, and season. If you want something you can quickly reference on the water, check out the link below. Chasing spooked fish. If you do spook a bass, don't chase it. Most of the time, the fish will actually return to the bed within a few minutes. Instead of pressuring it more, stay patient. What I like to do is mark the bed mentally, fish somewhere else for a few minutes, and then come back after the fish settles down. A lot of the time, you'll get a second chance. So far, we've covered tips based on bass spawn biology and how the bass tend to react. So, now let's talk about presentation mistakes, because this is where many anglers miss fish. Refusing to change baits. If a bass isn't reacting to your bait, switch it up. Different fish react differently to different presentations. Sometimes a bass will stare at the same bait over and over, but the moment something new enters the bed, it snaps. I had a bass recently that kept staring at this bluegill colored hair jig. Cast after cast, nothing. It'd come look at it, but would not bite. I switched to a Ned rig crawl, and on the first cast, the fish rushed over and absolutely demolished it. Sometimes all it takes is a different look.
I suspect it right away, yes sir.
Using low visibility baits. During bed fishing, white baits aren't for the fish. They're actually for you. High visibility baits like white or chartreuse let you see exactly when the bass picks up the bait. If you see the bait disappear, set the hook. This alone can dramatically increase your hookup ratio. Burying the hook. Bedding bass often barely grab the bait and try to spit it off their bed. If your hook is completely buried in a bait like a Texas rig, you might miss the fish entirely. Using baits with exposed hooks like Ned rigs or small jig heads can increase your chances of actually hooking these cautious fish. Not realizing you might only get one chance. Some bedding bass don't aggressively attack. Instead, they'll grab your bait just to move it off the nest and immediately spit it out. If you blink, you might miss it. That's why when you're bed fishing, you need to watch your bait closely and be ready to set the hook instantly. Sometimes you only get one real opportunity, and it could be after 10 or more casts to the same fish. But before any of that matters, you still have to find the beds in the first place. Which brings us to our next mistake. Looking in the wrong places. Bass don't build nests just anywhere. They prefer hard bottom like sand, gravel, or clay. And they usually choose protected areas like pockets, coves, or in the backs of creeks. Beds look like small circular bright spots where bass have cleared debris away. Depth depends on water clarity. In murky water, they might bed around 2 to 4 feet, and in clear water, they might be in even up to 4 to 8 feet deep. Once you learn what to look for, you'll start spotting beds everywhere. Not wearing polarized sunglasses. Polarized sunglasses are basically a cheat code during the spawn. They cut glare off the water and let you see into the water much more clearly. That means you can spot bass beds, cruising fish, and subtle movements way easier. And the sooner you see the fish, the easier it is to set up your cast without spooking the fish. Thinking you can't catch spawning bass in dirty water. Just because you can't see beds doesn't mean the bass are not spawning. In murky water, you can still target high probability spawning areas like protected banks with hard bottom in the right depth range. Go to these spots and the bass will still defend their nests and you can catch a ton of them. Being too stubborn. This one is painful. Sometimes you can literally see a big bass sitting on a bed, but it refuses to bite. And anglers will spend 30 minutes trying to catch that one single fish. The reality is, some bass just aren't in the mood. If a fish won't commit, it's often smarter to move on and find a more aggressive fish. That alone can double the number of bass you catch in a day. Thinking the spawn is over too early. The spawn is controlled by water temperature, not the calendar, and smaller bodies of water heat up faster. That means a small pond might start spawning 2 weeks earlier than a big lake in the same area. If your local ponds are finishing up the spawn, a deeper local lake may just be heating up. Here's a pro tip I use every spring. On calm sunny days, I walk the banks of smaller ponds trying to spot when bass are starting to stage up on beds because it's really easy to see them in these conditions. This can be the easiest way to tell that the spawn is kicking off. In conclusion, if you can avoid these 15 mistakes during the spawn, you'll immediately put yourself ahead of most anglers on the water. Because the truth is, spawning bass aren't necessarily hard to catch, but they do behave very differently than bass the rest of the year. The anglers who consistently catch fish during the spawn are not just getting lucky, they're paying attention to things like stealth, presentation, and using their understanding of how bass behave to catch fish. Once you start recognizing those patterns, the spawn can become one of the most fun and productive times of the year to fish. And if you want an easy reference for choosing the right lure in different conditions, don't forget to grab the Bass Bait Selector cheat sheet linked below. And if you want to keep improving your bass fishing skills, I've got a lot more videos breaking down specific techniques, gear setups, and seasonal patterns that will help you catch more. But for now, get out on the water, watch for those beds, and put some of these tips to the test. You might be surprised how quickly your catch rate improves. See you in the next one.